Rárá tó tún lè lálejò tó táwọn yọ. SPFS TV òun ní ká máa wò ní tilẹ̀ gbogbo. Ọ̀dà ṣóò ti gbó òun ní ká máa wò ní tilẹ̀ gbogbo. Àǹtí ṣóò ti gbó òun ní ká máa wò ní tilẹ̀ gbogbo. Ẹ̀yin àgbẹ̀ṣẹ́ ẹ̀ ti gbó òun ní ká máa wò ní tilẹ̀ gbogbo. SPFS TV lórí YouTube subscribe. Ẹ̀kọ́ àgbẹ̀ tó yè kooro. Ìròyìn lóríṣiríṣi nípa agriculture. SPFS TV òun ní ká máa wò ní tilẹ̀ gbogbo. Ọ̀dà ṣóò ti gbó òun ní ká máa wò ní tilẹ̀ gbogbo. Àǹtí ṣóò ti gbó òun ní ká máa wò ní tilẹ̀ gbogbo. Ẹ̀yin àgbẹ̀ṣẹ́ ẹ̀ ti gbó òun ní ká máa wò ní tilẹ̀ gbogbo. SPFS TV lórí Facebook, SPFS TV lórí YouTube, SPFS TV lórí Instagram. For your agricultural programs lóríṣiríṣi. Àgbẹ̀ ọlọ́sìn ẹja oríire ti dé. Ọlọ́sìn adìyẹ má ṣe mí kan rárá. SPFS TV òun ní ká máa wò ní tilẹ̀ tó kó. Ọ̀dà ṣóò ti gbó òun ní ká máa wò ní tilẹ̀ tó kó. Àǹtí ṣóò ti gbó òun ní ká máa wò ní tilẹ̀ tó kó. Ẹ̀yin àgbẹ̀ṣẹ́ ti gbó òun ní ká máa wò ní tilẹ̀.
Yes, it is yet another time on SPFS TV this Wednesday, beautiful Wednesday afternoon, to talk about agriculture, to talk about farming, to talk about everything that has to do with the green world on SPFS TV. I'm your regular host, Sisi Teju is my name. Thank you for joining us on this engaging, interesting and insightful episode of Let's Talk Agric, only on SPFS TV, Africa's #1 Agro TV. This afternoon, it promises to be engaging again. It promises to be very, very exciting because we are going to be having a beautiful woman on the show. She's a woman farmer. Apart from that, she's a CEO. She has been in this business for a number of years and she has made it really big, even in agriculture. Are you an entrepreneur, an agripreneur? Are you a farmer? Are you an agriculturist? Whatever you are doing, as long as it relates with agriculture, this is the best place to be every Wednesday from 12 noon to 1 p.m. So I want to say welcome on board. Let me also use this opportunity to wish every woman out there, whether you're in agriculture or you're not, we want to say Happy Women's Day to you all. Thank you so much for being who you are and for thriving in that space of yours. As I said earlier, this afternoon promises to be because we will be having a woman farmer on the show today to talk about cucumber. Yes, cucumber. What you do know about cucumber farming. Stay tuned and don't go away.
Ọmọ àgbẹ̀ ló ń kíyàn alátàndá ọmọ àgbẹ̀. Òjò máa rọ̀ sínú oko bàbá mi. Bí kò bá sí orí, ara ò bá ti kú ti pẹ́. Bí kò bá sí èjìká, aṣọ kò bá yẹ̀gẹ̀rẹ̀. Bí kò bá sí àgbẹ̀ nínú oko ní kí lára àgbòrò fẹ́ jẹ. Bí kò bá sí àgbàdo, kí la àbá máa pè lógì. Ẹ yé bú àgbẹ̀ mọ́, ipa ará oko kì í ṣará ọ̀run. Ẹ̀mí orógbó ni Ṣàngó fi ń mí. Ẹ̀mí ọ̀mùnù ilẹ̀kùn fi ń dàgbà. Ṣé bí oúnjẹ iná ń gbé Nàìjíríà wa ró? Ìwé kíkọ́ láìsí ọkọ́ àti àdá kò ì pé o, kò ì pé o. Iṣẹ́ àgbẹ̀ ìníṣẹ́ ilẹ̀ wa. Ẹni kò ṣiṣẹ́ yóò má sì jalè. Ìwé kíkọ́ láìsí ọkọ́ àti àdá kò ì pé o, kò ì pé o. Iṣẹ́ àgbẹ̀ ìwé kíkọ́. Ló ń kíyàn alátàndá ọmọ àgbẹ̀. Òjò máa rọ̀ sínú oko bàbá mi. Bí kò bá sí orí, ara ò bá ti kú ti pẹ́. Bí kò bá sí èjìká.
All right, welcome back, people. It's SPFS TV this Wednesday afternoon. Yes, the 9th day of the month of March 2022. I hope that you are following us on all our social media platforms. On Facebook at SPFS TV. Same on Instagram, SPFS TV, and on YouTube, SPFS TV. In case you're wondering what is the meaning of SPFS TV, or you're just tuning in for the first time, SPFS TV means Survival Poultry Farm Services Television, where we project and promote farming practices, agriculture, agripreneurs. We also showcase people who are in this business of agriculture. Some of you look at the advancements in the world, you notice that more people are into white collar jobs, doing one or two things, on social media, on Telegram, on using the technology. We are also maximizing what we have today, which is technology, to project agriculture and what we are doing in this sector. Agriculture is the mainstay of our economy. I hope we know that. Even of the world, we cannot do without agriculture. Let's just think about it. What can we do outside of agriculture? Talk of the clothes you wear, talk of the food you eat, talk of shelter, the trees, the plants, everything that we do use today has something related to agriculture. So why won't you join us every Wednesdays like this for every fresh episode of this program, Let's Talk Agric? Do drop your comments and let us know where you are, watching from. You're watching from Ibadan, you're watching from Lagos State. We are so excited to have you join us this afternoon. As I said earlier, we're having the CEO of a particular farm that has to do with farm helps in Ibadan. Yes, Farm Help Agro Store, in person of Miss Oyeyabe. She'll be here. She's already here. Let me say she's here right in the studios with us. So we're going to go for a short break. But before then, let me remind you that last week we were able to do something fantastic about cashew farming. If you have not seen that video, you'll find the link in the comment section. Post the link in the comment section. Even previous shows we've talked about, a lot of plants. We've talked about mushroom. Yes, exciting things about pig farming. We've talked about poultry farming twice on this television. And I'm sure you're going to learn one or two things from each of our guests that we have brought on this program for you. Once again, it is Let's Talk Agric on SPFS TV. So let's keep growing as we'll take you through the ride of agriculture.
STV tómilẹ̀ títí tó ṣàprápra tó tún lè lálejò tó táwọn yọ. SPFS TV òun ní ká máa wò ní tilẹ̀ gbogbo. ọ̀dà ṣóò ti gbọ́ òun ní ká máa wò ní tilẹ̀ gbogbo. àǹtí ṣóò ti gbọ́ òun ní ká máa wò ní tilẹ̀ gbogbo. ẹ̀yin àpẹ̀ṣẹ́ ti gbọ́ òun ní ká máa wò ní tilẹ̀ gbogbo. SPFS TV lórí YouTube, subscribe. ẹ̀kọ́ àgbẹ̀ tó yè kóró. ìròyìn lóríṣiríṣi nípa agriculture. SPFS TV òun ní ká máa wò ní tilẹ̀ tókò. ọ̀dà ṣóò ti gbọ́ òun ní ká máa wò ní tilẹ̀ tókò. àǹtí ṣóò ti gbọ́ òun ní ká máa wò ní tilẹ̀ tókò. ẹ̀yin àpẹ̀ṣẹ́ ti gbọ́ òun ní ká máa wò ní tilẹ̀ tókò. SPFS TV lórí Facebook, SPFS TV lórí YouTube, SPFS TV lórí Instagram. for your agricultural programs lóríṣiríṣi. àgbẹ̀ ọlọ́sìn ẹja oríire ti dé, ọlọ́sìn adìyẹ má ṣe mí kan rárá. SPFS TV òun ní ká máa wò ní tilẹ̀ tókò. ọ̀dà ṣóò ti gbọ́ òun ní ká máa wò ní tilẹ̀ tókò. àǹtí ṣóò ti gbọ́ òun ní ká máa wò ní tilẹ̀ tókò. ẹ̀yin àpẹ̀ṣẹ́ ti gbọ́ òun ní ká máa wò ní tilẹ̀ tókò.
aṣọ kò bá yẹ gẹ̀rẹ̀ bí kò bá sí àgbẹ̀ nínú oko ní kí lára àgbòrò fẹ́ jẹ, bí kò bá sí àgbàdo kí la àbá máa pè lógì. ẹ yé bú àgbẹ̀ mọ́ nípa ará oko kì í ṣará ọ̀run. ẹ̀mí orógbó ni Ṣàngó fi ń mí, ẹ̀mí ọ̀mùnù ilẹ̀kùn fi ń dàgbà. ṣé bí oúnjẹ iná ń gbé Nàìjíríà wa ró? ìwé kíkọ́ láìsí ọkọ́ àti àdá kò ì pé o. iṣẹ́ àgbẹ̀ ìníṣẹ́ ilẹ̀ wa, ẹni kò ṣiṣẹ́ yóò má sì jalè.
ìwé kíkọ́ láìsí ọkọ́ àti àdá kò ì pé o. ìwé kíkọ́ láìsí ọkọ́ àti àdá kò ì pé o. iṣẹ́ àgbẹ̀ iṣẹ́ ilẹ̀ wa, ẹni kò ṣiṣẹ́ á máa jalè.
ọmọ àgbẹ̀ ló ń kíyàn alátàndá ọmọ àgbẹ̀. òjò máa rọ̀ sínú oko bàbá mi, bí kò bá sí orí ara ò bá ti kú tipẹ́, bí kò bá sí èjìká aṣọ kò bá yẹ gẹ̀rẹ̀. bí kò bá sí àgbẹ̀ nínú oko ní kí lára àgbòrò fẹ́ jẹ bí kò bá sí àgbàdo kí la bá máa pè lógì. ẹ yé bú àgbẹ̀ mọ́ nípa ará oko kì í ṣará ọ̀run. ẹ̀mí orógbó ni Ṣàngó fi ń mí ẹ̀mí ọ̀mùnù ilẹ̀kùn fi ń dàgbà. ṣé bí oúnjẹ inú ń gbé Nàìjíríà wa ró ìwé kíkọ́ láìsí ọkọ́ àti àdá kò ì pé o iṣẹ́ àgbẹ̀ irinṣẹ́ ilẹ̀ wa ẹni kò ṣiṣẹ́ yóò má sì jalè.
ìwé kíkọ́ láìsí ọkọ́ àti àdá kò ì pé o iṣẹ́ àgbẹ̀ iṣẹ́ ilẹ̀ wa. ìwé kíkọ́ láìsí ọkọ́ àti àdá kò ì pé o iṣẹ́ àgbẹ̀ iṣẹ́ ilẹ̀ wa ẹni kò ṣiṣẹ́ bá máa jalè.
ọmọ àgbẹ̀ ló ń kíyàn alátàndá ọmọ àgbẹ̀ òjò máa rọ̀ sínú oko bàbá mi bí kò bá sí orí ara ò bá ti kú tipẹ́ bí kò bá sí èjìká aṣọ kò bá yẹ̀gẹ̀rẹ̀ bí kò bá sí àgbẹ̀ nínú oko ní kí lára àgbòrò fẹ́ jẹ bí kò bá sí àgbàdo kí la bá máa pè lógì. ẹ yé bú àgbẹ̀ mọ́ nípa ará oko kì í ṣará ọ̀run. ẹ̀mí orógbó ni Ṣàngó fi ń mí ẹ̀mí ọ̀mùnù.
Yes, you're welcome back on the show this afternoon. Let's talk Agric on SPFS TV, live from the city of Ibadan, Africa's first agro TV, where we project and promote everything that has to do with agriculture. Today I said we will be looking at everything that has to do with cucumber. You know, before I just bring up our guest this afternoon, I'd like you to know that cucumber is popularly referred to as Cucumis sativa. You know, that's more like the botanical name. You know, some of us when we were in secondary school, we had to go through botanical name of some plants, and that is just the name given to cucumber. And you must have heard of the idiomatic expression as cool as cucumber. Have you ever questioned what does that mean? Is there an agricultural meaning, or you know, or let me say an agricultural term that can be linked to? As cool as cucumber has to do with the ability or the quality of cucumber to cool the blood. Okay, so we'll have our guests talking about some of the constituents or some of the things that a cucumber comprises of that helps to cool the blood. That is why it is popularly said as cool as cucumber when you are referring to someone that is very gentle. So cucumber has some nutrients, has some constituents that cools the blood. You know, that is why it is said as cool as cucumber. So Cucumis sativa is the discussion this afternoon with Ifeoluwa Oyeyemi, who is the CEO of Farm Help Agro Stores. What else should you know about cucumber? I'd like to tell you that whenever you are feeling tired, you know, research has shown that instead of taking carbonated drinks, you know, energy drinks, I'm not trying to advertise anybody here, but I'm just saying that instead of taking those things, it has been proved that if you take cucumber alongside other fruits, you will be okay. You'll be restored. You know, talking of the energy that you need at that moment. You don't have to wait till you take carbonated drinks or any other thing before you are well and fine. Also, when we talk about vitamins, I was saying earlier that cucumber has vitamin B1, vitamin B2, vitamin B3, vitamin B5, vitamin B6, folic acid, vitamin C, calcium, you know, calcium for strength, iron, magnesium, phosphorus, potassium, and zinc. So when you are feeling tired, instead of picking up a soda, why don't you pick up a cucumber? Some of the values of cucumber this afternoon on the show. Let's talk Agric on SPFS TV, live from the city of Ibadan, the pace-setter state, or your state, Nigeria. Let us know where you are listening from, where you are watching us from. Please comment in the section below. Let us know your name and where you are streaming from, because you're about to get more interesting. It's going to be a blast this afternoon with Miss Oyeyemi, who is going to be telling us more about the propagation, the harvesting, the cultivation of cucumber, Cucumis sativa. Also, I'd like to tell you that when we are talking about cucumber, you know, if you're having a terrible headache, it has been said that you should just pick up a few slices of cucumber and you'll be fine, at least from that moment. If you are having a terrible headache, it is very good for you to have cucumber instead of, you know, just looking for OTC drugs and just downing anything that you do not know. So it is very important that we know some of these things concerning cucumber. You are stressed out, you are tired, you are feeling fatigued, you know, why don't you just go ahead and have some slices of cucumber. Also, I have learned or I've seen ladies who have acne issues, pimples, you know, they have issues like that, and I've seen them use cucumber on their faces. I've seen it being used in spa. So that's to say that there's a lot of things that cucumber can be used for. We are going to come back very shortly with our guests right here to talk more deeply and expertly about cucumber.
Ẹyẹ bú àgbẹ̀ mọ́ nípa ará oko ò ní sára ọ̀run. Ẹ̀mí orógbó ni Ṣàngó fi ń mí. Ẹ̀mí ọ̀mùnù ilẹ̀kùn fi ń dàgbà. Ṣé bí oúnjẹ iná ń gbé Nàìjíríà wa ró? Ìwé kíkọ́ láìsí ọkọ́ àti àdá. Kò ì pé o, kò ì pé o. Iṣẹ́ àgbẹ̀ ìníṣẹ́ ilẹ̀ wa. Ẹni kò ṣiṣẹ́ yóò má sì jalè.
Ìwé kíkọ́ láìsí ọkọ́ àti àdá. Kò ì pé o, kò ì pé o. Iṣẹ́ àgbẹ̀, iṣẹ́ ilẹ̀ wa. Ẹni kò ṣiṣẹ́ ká máa jalè.
Ọmọ àgbẹ̀ ló ń kíyàn alátàndá ọmọ àgbẹ̀. Òjò máa rọ̀ sínú oko bàbá mi. Bí kò bá sí orí, ara ò bá ti kú ti pẹ́. Bí kò bá sí èjìká, aṣọ kò bá yẹ̀gẹ̀rẹ̀. Bí kò bá sí àgbẹ̀ nínú oko ní kí lára àgbòrò fẹ́ jẹ. Bí kò bá sí àgbàdo, kí la àbá máa pè lógì. Ẹyẹ bú àgbẹ̀ mọ́ nípa ará oko ò ní sára ọ̀run. Ẹ̀mí orógbó ni Ṣàngó fi ń mí. Ẹ̀mí ọ̀mùnù ilẹ̀kùn fi ń dàgbà. Ṣé bí oúnjẹ iná ń gbé Nàìjíríà wa ró? Ìwé kíkọ́ láìsí ọkọ́ àti àdá. Kò ì pé o, kò ì pé o. Iṣẹ́ àgbẹ̀ ìníṣẹ́ ilẹ̀ wa. Ẹni kò ṣiṣẹ́ yóò má sì jalè.
Ìwé kíkọ́ láìsí ọkọ́ àti àdá. Kò ì pé o, kò ì pé o.
Welcome back, people. It's about to get more beautiful this afternoon. As you can see, we have beautiful Miss Ifeoluwa Oyeyemi, who has been into the business of cucumber farming for about 5 years, in the studios right here with us, live from the city of Ibadan. How are you doing this afternoon?
Good afternoon, I'm fine. How are you doing?
I'm good too. It's good to have you on the show.
Thank you so much.
Okay, I think we should start with you being a woman and a young woman, you know, to say that farming has a career. At what point did you decide agriculture, farming, you know, to be part of you?
Yeah, thank you so much, Femaduto. I started farming 5 years ago, and I got into it after my service here.
Wow.
So I really do not have any other thing I'm doing apart from agriculture. So since that time, I saw a need for young people to go into it. That is why in our own company, we have taken it as a point of duty to train younger ones about agriculture, about vegetable production, so that the benefit and the help I got while I was serving, I'll be able to pass it down to the younger one. So crop production has been part of me since I served.
Wow.
2016.
So you got some kind of training from some group of people then, or you did agriculture in school? What was the motivation?
Yes, I studied animal nutrition and biotechnology in Lautech.
Interesting.
I graduated 2015 and my master's is also in animal nutrition. But basically now I am into crop production and the sales of agro inputs, or farm inputs. So when it all started, I was posted to Aja Farms in Ekpe. So what basically we do there is vegetable farming, exotic vegetable farming. So the major aspect of livestock they have is just snary, where I was posted to. So I just think if it to just see a need. Why will somebody outside the country come to our country and start earning so much? So I got interested into the production of crop. I just see a need that I don't need somebody outside the country to come and earn in Nigeria. Why I just go back to get a white collar job. So I had to just tell my manager to give me space, like a training space for me to just train on sample seeds that seeds that have been forgotten or the company, the Aja Farm, has said they are no more using. So I started with that, and with his help, I was able to grow up to the manager of the farm after my service here.
Interesting one from Miss Ifeoluwa Oyeyemi this afternoon on the show SPFS TV. Let's talk Agric. Don't forget, we are still doing Kukumi Sativa, that is cucumber farming. You know, we are going all green today.
Yes.
All right, let's talk about cucumber briefly. You know, looking at the plant itself or the crop. Now, you said switch from you studying animal production, animal nutrition in school, to crop plantation due to the training that you had during your youth service year.
Yes.
Now, let's talk about the plant itself. You mentioned something vegetable.
Yes.
You know, cucumber itself, is it more of a vegetable or a fruit? How do you classify the plant?
We'll classify it as a fruit vegetable, because vegetables are they are defined in two ways, different ways.
Wow.
So it might be living vegetable, it might be fruit vegetable. So cucumber is under fruit vegetable, and it's a vine crop. Because it does not grow like other, like standing, but it's a crawling crop. That is why they say vine crop.
Oh, it crawls on the ground. Wow.
So we need a stand to make it grow up.
Oh, wow.
So that is what they call terrorism. So it's just a crop within 35 to 40 days you start harvesting.
Wow.
When you plant today, you start counting in the next 35 days, you start your first
Wow.
harvest. So it's as very simple as that, but it's in the technical knowledge about it so that you get a good result.
Interesting. That is why we're having this show, especially for our people, so that they can have good results when it comes to harvesting, when it comes to storage, when it comes to marketing. You have said earlier, and I told our people earlier, that it is a plant that you so much want to get into because it has a limited time frame of growing it. Now let's start with the propagation. You have said it is a fruit vegetable. Okay, let's start with the propagation. How do you after clearing the farm land and everything, just as you started, okay, I'm sure you started as a small scale farmer.
Yes.
Okay, so how did you start the propagation process? What does it entail?
Yes, one thing I always tell people, if you are going to cucumber farming, you must have a source of water which is so much that you'll be able to not overfeed them. You feed them directly with water, not water rain fed. So when you start, it's direct sowing. It's either you do greenhouses or you plant outside, which is the outdoor part.
Okay.
So when you plant, we have some segments and there are types of seeds. We have more than 100 varieties of cucumber seeds. We have the hybrid and we have the OPV. So it depends on you to know which one would benefit you more, because there are difference between OPV seeds and hybrid. So they are different.
Well, how are they different?
Yes, OPV seeds are seeds that they are less costly.
Okay.
While hybrid, they are costly, but their resistance to the seeds is very high compared to the other one. Like, let me just cite an example. If you are buying an OPV seed, you buy an 100 gram for like 4,000 naira, while you buy like a 10 gram of hybrid seed for 3,000 naira thereabouts.
Oh, okay.
So the prices are different and the yield is different. So when you want to spend less, you go for hybrid because of the area we have. Because spraying and all, we always cut on your cost of production.
That's true.
So for you to get a good yield and all, I prefer to go for an hybrid seed. And we have variety of them. We have different types from different components. So it depends on you now. Okay, this is my type of soil after doing soil testing. Okay, this is what I have. This is the type of soil, and this is how I can manage it best. Then I know that this variety will do well in my area with my own good agricultural practices. So for everything you will do, it's a direct sowing, and your counting can start the day you sow.
Interesting. So you mentioned something about the soil. So what type of soil is suitable for cucumber seeds?
Yeah, when it comes to soil, I prefer it to be loam, so that you'll be able to call it. It encompasses a lot of what's it called, microorganisms that will help the crop. So then the finest of it is to know the pH of the soil, which is 5. You need like in between 5.5 to 6.5.
Okay.
So that is what you need for a cucumber plant, the requirements you need so far. So for the water requirements, you need cucumbers. They are heavy feeders. As you give them water, the way you give them nutrients as well. So there are a lot of things entailed into it. I call them a baby, because you need to cater for a baby for them to feed well,
to nurture
them, so that you will get your results in that time. We have people that plant cucumbers and they don't have their first harvest after 45 days. And the variety matters at first, but because of their nutrients or what they are feeding it. So that is one thing about cucumbers. The more you feed it, the more you get results.
It's more like saying that in when
Exactly.
it comes to cucumber farming, you need to nurture them, you need to keep them water. No wonder the cucumber, fruit is, full of more water.
Yes, it comprises more than 70% of water. Yes.
Interesting. And it also has a lot of vitamins,
benefits,
as I read out earlier to people.
Yes.
It contains calcium.
Yes.
I even read that if you're tired, you are so weak, you're having terrible headache, don't go for soda or a soda drink or an energy drink. Just eat some cucumber.
Yes.
I find that very interesting and fascinating this morning.
So that is why we should always encourage our farmers to know the moderate way of applying pesticide. So it's one of the major training we've been doing to our farmers, so that we will not be getting more of toxicity in the environment, because we farmers are the one feeding the nation.
That's
and
true.
whatever we get to the market is whatever everyone, including the farmer, we eat.
That's
so that definitely we must go back to the right composition of the fertilizers, the composition of pesticide to give, and the time to withdraw them. So these are a set of things we need to know as a cucumber farmer.
Okay, we're still on the propagation cultivation stage.
Yes.
You've talked about getting the seed,
the right
which are
seed.
2 types. You said
OPV, open pollinated variety.
Okay, thank you for saying that. Open pollinated variety, or you have the hybrid seed.
Yes.
But you suggest that people go for hybrid seeds because it's more resistant to pests and diseases. Okay, and then it yields more. Okay, very good. So we have the seed, we have the soil, which will be around 5.0 to 6.5 pH level. Now that you have your soil ready, you have your land ready, you have your seed ready, how do you plant? Do you have ridges? Do you put, you were talking about greenhouse. Can you expatiate more on that aspect?
Yes, after before all this, you've gotten your seed, you make sure that the land is cleared.
Right.
Then if on a normal day, we are into irrigation farming, the modern type. So in the modern type, we have the greenhouse covered with mulching frames and irrigation, whereby every of the nutrients and the water is given to the plants at the same time and at equal volume. So that is the essence of the irrigation, and it will ease you of stress. It will be stress-free.
Wow.
So whenever you are done with the land preparation, make sure that the irrigation drips are on. It can either be furrow, it can be drip tapes. So the furrow are the ones they use in the northern part. So there will be beds made on high, like 15-meter high. So on the furrow, they will make irrigation system. That is the furrow type. So for the drip tape, we have a lot of accessory for drip tape irrigation system set up. So after they've laid up the drip, the bed can be 50 meters the length can be 50 meters, so the width can be also be 50 meters. So the planting spacing should be 30 centimeters, that's 0.3 meters, from where you've planted one to the other. So at the drip tape is being numbered to the essence that you can get 0.2 meters, 0.2, 0.3, and 0.5. So that is where you can pick the one depending on the crop you are planting. So for cucumbers, it's better to go for 0.2 or 0.3, but I prefer 0.3 spacing so that you have good aeration for your crop.
Wow.
And they'll be able to get enough nutrients. So after land preparation, after the irrigation has been set, we get manure, dried manure. Dry manure from poultry, because we make sure that it's more than 3 months old, because they get too hot. So whenever you put your seed, they don't germinate, or it kills it. Yes, or kill the roots.
That is why you go for the
dried one. Manure. So that's why what we do. Then after getting the dry manure on the land, so with the irrigation system, you'll be able to make sure you can make it together on the bed, or you put it at the space you are planting. Then mix with soil. So one thing we'll do is we buy fertilizer, which is the single superphosphate, SSP. We mix it with the manure. With the manure at planting, then we mix with water and soil. We'll leave it to rest for a day, then the second day we plant. The depth at which you plant should just be a little bit, just like 1.5 centimeter thereabout, so that it will not be too deep inside the soil. So after the planting, after sowing directly, you spray them insecticide because of the pest around. So the insecticide will be low. So after like 3 to 4 days, you have them germinating, they will sprout out.
Wow.
So you can start counting from there that in the next 30 days I'll have my money.
Cucumber fruits.
Yes, so and the very beautiful thing about it is just that you don't harvest at once. You harvest gradually. Within like 4 weeks, 5 weeks, you still harvesting, depending on your agricultural practices.
Interesting. Yes. Beautiful one. You've heard it straight up from the cucumber farmer herself, talking of Miss Ifeoluwa Oyeyemi, who is from Farm Help Agro Stores, here with us live in the city of Ibadan. And we are still talking cucumis sativa, cucumber farming. In case you find that very funny, that is the botanical name for cucumber. And then we've told you some of the facts that you need to know about cucumber, the plants or the fruit cucumber. And we've just started with the propagation, the cultivation, and I just want to ask you that if, in case you have questions concerning this type of farming, please do drop them in the comment section, and we would love to take them very soon on the program. Okay, Miss Ife, let's move on to the part of you've done a good job talking of how to cultivate well. Now let's move on to, okay, you've talked about the nurturing part, using water, dried manure, and everything. Now let's go to harvesting. You've talked about the farmer using some stick to hold up the plant, the cucumber plant, because it's crossed on the floor. You said it is a vine crop. Okay, now that you look at the fruit, how do you know that this fruit is okay for consumption? How do you know that this fruit is okay for the market, for our people to eat, and have the nutritional values that we have churned out this afternoon? How do you, just recognize that with your sight?
Okay, thank you so much. For recognition, there are some things that you will know. We have different varieties, and their lengths are different. On the part, for a farmer, if you are buying, you should know the descriptions of each seed you are buying. So that's why I encourage every of my farmers to know what it entails before buying. We have some that have resistance to downy mildew. That is one of the major diseases of cucumbers. We have some that has resistance to powdery mildew. We have a lot of variety like that. So their length differs. We have short cucumbers, we have English cucumbers, we have Chinese cucumbers. Those are the seedless. So you can plant them. We have a lot of different ones, and their sweetness is different. Then their size also are different
based on the variety that you get.
So now, to know that they are matured enough, some variety has thorns on their body. Some, they are dark. But some, we have light, they have striped white. So when you have to know that they are mature is when you see that the head is not dark, very dark green, and their longevity is true. So that is when you know that you are ready to take it out. Then when you know that you should take it to the market, not poisoning people, is, you know, I talked about a lot of things we add to it. While you said that you've read that it contains calcium. Yes, we add a lot of soluble fertilizers to it that also help in getting the calcium to your own body as well as a consumer. So we have in form of calcium nitrate that we add to the crops. We have potassium nitrate. We have magnesium sulfate. A lot of things that we apply. So a lot of farmer needs to know the accurate measurements for each of these soluble fertilizers and the other one, which is the granular fertilizers that we apply to it, and they are in stages. So if we want to get it right, I tell them, make sure you give them money, water, morning and evening.
Okay.
When they get their water, after you have sprayed them and they have sprouted, yours is to make sure that your environment is clean, because cleanliness leads to godliness. For you to get a lot of results, you have to take away the pests. So for you to do that, I tell them, get 3 different pesticides, which are fungicide and insecticide, because we get resistance to all these things from the pest. When you use one, they will basically be resistant to it. Like you are spraying in the house, you are fumigating your house and you are using one. They get used to it. So in a week, you can just shovel it. Oh, I'm using this insecticide A this week to spray them. I'm using fungicide A this week. The next week, I turn to another one. So in the next 5 days, depending on your environment and how clean your environment is, you spray them. And when you are spraying, when they are flowering, I tell my farmers not to spray in the morning, because we need some pollinators, the bees. They will be doing their job to make sure that all the flowers turn to fruit.
Wow.
So in the morning, you don't need to spray.
Okay.
You spray late in the evening. When they are flowering. All this knowledge is what farmers that are into cucumbers must know, because a lot of these things will cause abortion of the flowers. Or they will not turn to fruit. Because you have sent away the beneficiaries, the instead to give you more inputs, you send them away because of the odor of all these insecticide we are using. And why we are doing that, we should always check the consumer's residual effects too, because if you are trying to spray just to make sure that you have a good storage, make sure that you have a marketable fruit, or it lasts longer on the it has a good shelf life. You should always consider other people consuming it, because Yoruba will say tabale ko soja abare eleni. So whenever you're thinking nobody is eating it, you too, you are eating it as well, because your friend or family might eat it.
That's true.
All these things are things we should always consider. They are important in cucumber farming. The fertilizer, the nutrition part, and the spraying program. So the 2 things you must have as key in farming. After you have gotten your water correctly, you must be able to get your nutrition table correctly and your spraying method. So I will just give like a little on the nutrition part. Whenever it is 2 weeks after you have planted, they are coming out. I tell people in the 11 days, give them urea. Urea is just nitrogen, basically nitrogen. It contains 46% of nitrogen alone. So at that stage, they need it for their foliar, which is the leaf, so that they will come out. But some people make mistakes. They will still apply after 3 weeks or that. It will kill off what they need to bring out. So it will be more of leaves. So they will not get enough fruit. So at that stage, then after 2 weeks, do your first weeding. After the first weeding, you make them, there will be more air into the soil, and they will be lively. The roots also will get more exposed to get nutrients from the soil. So then you apply your NPK 15-15 to it. Then after like 3, you continue, you spray your foliar fertilizers. If you are going to organic, there are some organic fertilizers that you use. If it is inorganic, we have fertilizers that I've mentioned. So that is what you use. Then when it comes to all these things, we have some percentage you use. For every crop, you give them 5 grams of NPK and urea. So you can calculate that with the number of the population size, the number of crop
that
you have on
your
field.
farm. Okay.
So if you are using a venturi to pass the fertilizer into the crop, you can calculate, oh, I'm using urea today, 5 grams times 10,000 of seeds. So that means 5 times 10,000, that's 50,000 divided by 1,000. That means I'm using a bag for this whole feed to spray them. So that's how we make calculations. So for every week after they are okay, we give them CalMag or calcium nitrate. CalMag contains calcium and magnesium.
Okay.
It's good for the health too. That is where you get a lot of these vitamins inside the cucumbers.
Right.
So from there, you give them 2 grams. So it's a good calculation for everybody to get. So, but a lot of people will hide it when you just browse online to check, oh, how do I do the fertilization table of cucumbers? So it's easy, 2 grams of potassium nitrate a week, and you get your results.
Interesting. You just heard it live and direct from Ms. Ifeoluwa Oyeyemi, who is a cucumber farmer. She has 5 years experience in this business, in this, side of agriculture. And you will see that she said something earlier that it is a technical plant. Yes. And from my explanation, you notice that it is really a technical plant. The way she was explaining, I saw it more like you having a child, maybe a baby.
Exactly.
Of days, turning to months. You have to take the child for immunization. Thank you.
That's why I said it's a baby.
It's a baby. You need to nurture it. You
Yes.
need to watch it. You need to keep breastfeeding the baby so that the baby can grow and become a healthy child. The same thing for the cucumber. You need to keep nurturing. So it's a plant that you sit with.
Exactly.
Do you agree with me?
Yes. And now that we are celebrating the female world, I always tell females that we have more to do with our crop, because research has said that crops get likened to the voice of a lady.
Wow.
So whenever you get, as a female farmer, whenever you get to the farm, you can definitely tell what your plants, what you want from them.
Wow, interesting.
So they listen to voice of a woman more. With the research we've known, and it has been established.
I hope the men are not jealous right now that plants listen to women more than them. Interesting facts there from Ms. Ifeoluwa Oyeyemi. Still talking cucumber farming this afternoon on Let's Talk Agric, only on your Africa's First Agro TV. We'll be right back after the short break to look at more things about fruit abortion. Ms. Ifeoluwa has mentioned a little bit about it, things to do to avoid fruit abortion. But when we come back, it will be time to really delve into that and look at some post-harvesting care that we need to ensure when it comes to cucumber farming. Do stay tuned and don't go away.
Tómilẹ̀ títí tó ṣàprápra tó tún lè lálejò tó táwọn yọ. SPFS TV òun ní ká máa wò ní tilẹ̀ tó kó. Ọ̀dà ṣóò ti gbọ́ òun ní ká máa wò ní tilẹ̀ tó kó. Àǹtí ṣóò ti gbọ́ òun ní ká máa wò ní tilẹ̀ tó kó. Ẹ̀yin àpẹ̀ṣẹ́ ti gbọ́ òun ní ká máa wò ní tilẹ̀ tó kó. SPFS TV lórí YouTube subscribe. Ẹ̀kọ́ àgbẹ̀ tó yè kóró. Ìròyìn lóríṣiríṣi nípa agriculture. SPFS TV òun ní ká máa wò ní tilẹ̀ tó kó. Ọ̀dà ṣóò ti gbọ́ òun ní ká máa wò ní tilẹ̀ tó kó. Àǹtí ṣóò ti gbọ́ òun ní ká máa wò ní tilẹ̀ tó kó. Ẹ̀yin àpẹ̀ṣẹ́ ti gbọ́ òun ní ká máa wò ní tilẹ̀ tó kó. SPFS TV lórí Facebook, SPFS TV lórí YouTube, SPFS TV lórí Instagram. For your agricultural programs lóríṣiríṣi. Àgbẹ̀ ọlọ́sìn ẹja oríire ti dé.
Ìwé kíkọ láìsí ọkọ àti àdá fún ìpè o. Iṣẹ́ àgbẹ̀ iṣẹ́ ilé wa, ẹni kò ṣiṣẹ́ á máa jalè.
ọmọ àgbẹ̀ ló ń kí yín alátàndá ọmọ àgbẹ̀. Òjò máa rọ̀ sínú oko bàbá mi. Bí kò bá sí orí, ara ò bá ti kú ti pẹ́. Bí kò bá sí èjìká, aṣọ kò bá yẹ̀gẹ̀rẹ̀. Bí kò bá sí àgbẹ̀ nínú oko ní kí lára àgbòrò fẹ́ jẹ. Bí kò bá sí àgbàdo, kí la àbá máa pè lógì. Ẹ yé bú àgbẹ̀ mọ́ nípa ará oko ò kì í ṣará ọ̀run. Ẹ̀mí orógbó ni Ṣàngó fi ń mí. Ẹ̀mí ọ̀mùnù ilẹ̀kùn fi ń dàgbà. ṣe bí oúnjẹ inú ń gbé Nàìjíríà wa ró ìwé kíkọ́ láìsí ọkọ́ àti àdá kò ì pé o kò ì pé o iṣẹ́ àgbẹ̀ ìníṣẹ́ ilẹ̀ wa ẹni kò ṣiṣẹ́ yóò má sì jalè.
ìwé kíkọ́ láìsí ọkọ́ àti àdá kò ì pé o kò ì pé o. ìwé kíkọ́ láìsí ọkọ́ àti àdá kò ì pé o kò ì pé o. iṣẹ́ àgbẹ̀ iṣẹ́ ilẹ̀ wa.
ẹ yé bú àgbẹ̀ mọ́ nípa ará oko kì í ṣará ọ̀run ẹ̀mí orógbó.
ìwé kíkọ́ láìsí ọkọ́ àti àdá kò ì pé o kò ì pé o. iṣẹ́ àgbẹ̀ iṣẹ́ ilẹ̀ wa ẹni kò ṣiṣẹ́ á máa jalè.
ọmọ àgbẹ̀ ló ń kí yín alátàndá ọmọ àgbẹ̀ òjò máa rọ̀ sínú oko bàbá mi bí kò bá sí orí ara ò bá ti kú tipẹ́ bí kò bá sí èjìká aṣọ kò bá yẹ́gẹ̀rẹ̀ bí kò bá sí àgbẹ̀ nínú oko ní kí lára àgbòrò fẹ́ jẹ bí kò bá sí àgbàdo kí la àbá máa pèlú kì ẹ yé bú àgbẹ̀ mọ́ nípa ará oko kì í ṣará ọ̀run ẹ̀mí orógbó ni Ṣàngó fi ń mí ẹ̀mí ọ̀mùnù ilẹ̀kùn fi ń dàgbà ṣe bí oúnjẹ inú ń gbé Nàìjíríà wa ró ìwé kíkọ́ láìsí ọkọ́.
Welcome back, people. Thank you for staying with us on this episode of Let's Talk Agric on Africa's First Agro TV, SPFS TV, live from the city of Ibadan, on your state, Nigeria. Don't forget to comment on the video link, on the streaming link. If you have questions, you have observations, there is something you want us to know about you, you're a farmer interested in, maybe you are a cucumber farmer too, or you have an input or a contribution to today's episode, yes, feel free to drop your comments, and we would like to take them before the end of the program today. I'm still speaking with Ms. Ifeoluwa Oyeyemi, who is a cucumber farmer. She's from Farm Help Agro Stores, and she's here today to help us understand better how well to cultivate cucumber crop, how well to cultivate cucumber crop, and she's been doing justice to that. Trust me, if you're just joining us, don't worry, you're going to get the stream link to make sure that you get what we've been doing even before now. So I was saying something about fruits. Yeah. The fruit of cucumber. You know, I noticed that there was a day that I bought a cucumber and I found out that one had more seed than the other. You know, you mentioned a bit about varieties. So what determines a cucumber fruit having more seeds or not? You know, just like watermelon, you find out that some watermelon have more seeds, some don't have, some have lesser seeds, some don't even have at all. So what determines the number of seeds in a cucumber fruit?
Yes, like I've said, we have more than 100 varieties.
Wow.
So their descriptions, their genetics is different. So we have English cucumbers, we have Chinese cucumbers. The Chinese cucumbers are seedless, and the ones we call them, they are parthenocarpic because they produce mainly female flowers and they don't need male flowers. Okay. They don't need bee pollinators to come and do that. So they are majorly grown inside the greenhouses. So the seedless that you're talking about, they are Chinese cucumber and they are sweeter than this one with food.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
They are sweeter and they have lesser water.
Wow.
So but they are tiny. They are always tiny and straight.
Do they also have the same nutrients compared
yes,
to
they
the
have.
ones that have
Even
a lot of
they
water?
have more.
Wow.
Yes.
Nice.
So they are different varieties. When you want to get them, read about them. Know whatsoever the genetics is about. Then you get the one that is suitable for you. So that is it.
Interesting. Also, still talking about fruit, I recall that, you know, when you are buying, especially in large quantities, you find out that, you know, they have different lengths, as you rightly said, but you find out that some are stunted somehow. What is the cause?
Yes, a lot of issues are the cause. One is water and heat stress.
Oh.
It's like when I'm thirsty, I needed water. There was no water around. So at the time I got water, you know, the gush and the rush might even choke me. Because at that time I never even expected I would get water.
Wow.
So a lot of things, the stress on which the plant gets, you see them, they are very short and bitter. If you take note of that. So there are a lot of things that I said they need to be nurtured like a baby. So if you miss a day of cucumber nutrients, forget about it.
Wow.
Instead of you getting like 8 to 10 fruits on a plant, you might get like 3 that are good. You might even get like 2 and a lot of flowers abortion. So it depends on that factors I've said, the nutrients, especially the food that you are giving to them. Then when they needed water, give them adequately, like I've said earlier, and moderately, so that they'll be able to use it to the minimum level.
Yes, you have said earlier that it is a technical plant to grow. So you need to make sure that everything is in appropriate quantity. You don't overdo, you don't underdo. You have to be right about it. Still talking cucumber farming this afternoon on SPFS TV. Right now we'll move on to the post-harvesting care. You know, when it comes to plucking, do you pluck it, the fruit?
Yes, we do.
Okay. After plucking the fruit, you pluck it, you put them in some baskets, or let me not assume, what do you put them in? Is it a bowl to ensure that maybe they don't get spoiled, they have air, as you said, and they still look fresh, they still maintain their greenness? What are the post-harvesting care that a farmer should ensure, the points before he takes it to the market?
Yes, one thing you should also get in cucumber is the staking. You can either use the staking net or a rope to stake them. When they are not on the floor, they are very neat compared to when you have them on the floor. So they get attacked by nematodes, dirt all over. Even when it rains, it will be dirty.
Like
so when you are now doing the harvest, it will take you another mode of action to start washing it, rinsing it, and get it packed. Cucumbers are packed in bags, 25 kg bags to sell. Presently now, I think a bag is being sold for 10,000 to 15,000.
Wow.
At the point, it was 2,000 naira
wow.
per bag. So depending on the size of your cucumbers, you can have like 60 to 90 pieces in a bag. So their weight is always like 40 kg to 44 or 45 kg for a bag. But it's always a 25 kg bag. So mostly we use chicken feed bag for now. So that is what the market accepts. And for you to have a good post-harvest method, I always tell my farmers before any of your crop, if it is not even vegetable, because they are perishable goods, you should get a market ahead of whatever you are sowing to the ground.
So there's no way to preserve them in case there's no market?
There are ways, because of what calcium, the calcium we are giving to them is for them to have a good shelf life.
Okay.
So, and for every variety you buy, we have the shelf life written. Okay, after you have harvested, this can last for 4 to 5 days after harvest. Oh, the shelf life is 28 days. You can keep them on the table and not put them in a fridge or in store. You have 21 days. It depends on the variety you are buying, then what you have given them. So Calmag make it so strong, our calcium nitrate, like we are treating our teeth and bones with calcium. So they get so strong and they don't get rotten because of what you have given them. So while we are doing all those post-harvest, when you're harvesting them, I tell people don't put them on the bar floor, so that stones will not get into them.
The fruit.
So at that point at which it has gotten a spot or something, it will start rotting. So we get a big nylon that is clean.
Okay.
They start from every row.
Any color of nylon, whether black or white?
But I don't like black because black radiates heat. Okay. So when you're harvesting, you might not start harvesting till like 12 because of the stress of getting everything you needed for the harvest. So it can be a wider white nylon that is clean. Okay. Then from every of their harvest, they pick it. Then we make a selections. So to each bag. So from there, you take it to your most reliable middleman, or you sell directly to supermarkets or sell to store. So that is where the issue of market comes in. You do your market survey and get what you needed at that time. So from the point of you harvesting, you definitely get it to the market straight away. So for after each harvest, make sure that you feed them, because the place you have opened up will get healed easily, so that they will heal up easily, so that they will not be exposed to any form of attack. So after that, after every of your harvest periods, spray them. Any chemicals that the the re-entry time or the withdrawal effect is 4 to 5 days. That after you have done that, you'll be able to harvest in the next 5 days. Again.
Wow.
Not that when you spray them, you won't be able to harvest again. So those are the things you need to know about your chemicals too, and everything you use on the farm.
Fantastic things we have learned today on the program Let's Talk Agric on SPFS TV with Miss Ifeoluwa Oyeyemi, who is a cucumber farmer. She's a female, she's been doing this for 5 years. Let me just get a little bit personal before we wrap up for today. That has there been any point on this business, being an agripreneur, that you thought that, who sent me? My mates are, they are in offices, they are doing fine. Was there any point like that for you? And how were you able to overcome that moment?
Yeah, I remembered last year, that's the basis that brought us to a training on pesticide toxicity. It was like 5 days to harvest. I was not around. My boys on the farm, one of them made the mistake of changing the insecticide plastic to herbicide. So he was not on the farm. Somebody needed to spray, so he mistakenly sprayed herbicide instead of insecticide. So every of the cucumber, 1 acre cucumber, got wiped. So it was after like 3 days that they noticed
that it was not fruiting.
No, it's dried already.
The fruits they were fruits already.
They were fruiting already, because we had to harvest in 5 days. So they were fruiting already. We are planning to harvest. So it started getting dry. The plants, the fruits, the leaves were drying up. They just needed to call me, Madam, they come farm. In this hot afternoon, what happened? Tell me, Madam, we don't understand all these plants. They dry off. I was like, what happened? When I got there, I think, okay, what happened until we discovered that it was herbicide. We could not sell, and I already had budget for my money and all, but I had to overcome that because I am not ready to give out poison to the society. So we have to just wipe that phase up, and it was a huge lot of money. 1 acre of cucumber, the money, the investments, and all, and the stress
going to the farm that you
and
explained.
All. So it was just a waste. So that was what brought about our monthly program, our training program for farmers, so that we will not have the same experience I've had and the mistakes we have had so far. So it's just like a learning phase for me on how to train people, and it has been a part that gave me more joy, because I've been able to train more farmers on how to use this
to avoid that mistake that also happened. Okay, on the other side, when was your happiest day as a farmer?
Oh, my happiest day was when I made millions.
Ooh!
Yeah.
In a day or in a year or in a month?
Just an harvest.
Wow. Just one harvest, you made millions of naira. Wow. Cool cash. Were you cutting it with your hands?
You can definitely get to the bank and smile to the bank.
I get the point. I also want to count millions. I also want to become a cucumber farmer. Do you too? I hope you also enjoyed this episode of Let's Talk Agric on SPFS TV. And I want to say thank you so much to Ms. Ifeoluwa. There's a lot to learn from her. Trust me, 1 hour is not enough. We're going to have her on another day. I'm sure when we extend our invitation to you, you'll be willing to come.
No problem.
Thank you very much. On behalf of the executive producer, in person of talking of our love, thank you for coming. We love you and we celebrate you as a woman, as a farmer. Thank you so much,
SPTV. More grace.
Amen. Amen. I want you to just say hello, hi to your followers, your farmers, your boys on the farm. As you said, just greet your people as we wrap up for today.
Hello, lovers. It's your favorite female farmer. I hope you're doing well on your farm. Thank you so much as we fill the nation as large. Thank you. You have a very blessed day.
All right, that is it for today on the show Let's Talk Agric on SPFS TV. Thank you so much for paying attention. You have comments, you have questions. Please do link up with us on our social media platforms at SPFS TV on Facebook, on YouTube, and on Instagram. You can also leave us your messages in case you want to partner with us on this program. Thank you so much. I remain your host, Sisi Teju. Once again, want to wish every woman out there, whether you're a farmer or not, a happy International Women's Day. Thank you and see you next time.
òun ní ká máa wò ní tilẹ̀ gbogbo ọ̀dà ṣó ti gbọ́ òun ní ká máa wò ní tilẹ̀ gbogbo àǹtí ṣó ti gbọ́ òun ní ká máa wò ní tilẹ̀ gbogbo ẹ̀yin àgbẹ̀ṣẹ́ ti gbọ́ òun ní ká máa wò ní tilẹ̀ gbogbo. SPFS TV lórí YouTube subscribe ẹ̀kọ́ àgbẹ̀ tó yè kóró ìròyìn lóríṣiríṣi nípa agriculture. SPFS TV òun ní ká máa wò ní tilẹ̀ gbogbo ọ̀dà ṣó ti gbọ́ òun ní ká máa wò ní tilẹ̀ gbogbo àǹtí ṣó ti gbọ́ òun ní ká máa wò ní tilẹ̀ gbogbo ẹ̀yin àgbẹ̀ṣẹ́ ti gbọ́ òun ní ká máa wò ní tilẹ̀ gbogbo. SPFS TV lórí Facebook.